Hey everybody, welcome back to the Strategy Game Podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Shippey, and today we're diving into my personal top 7 game-changing habits. So I'm excited about today's episode because these 7 things that I'm going to talk about today have really helped me personally in my journey of creating and innovating and enjoying the work. And it's also bigger than that. So I always want to tie it back to the bigger picture, because when we start with the bigger picture and then we frame that in the way that enables us to understand why we're doing what we're doing and why we're building this base of effective habits, then we'll want to do them more, right? So we're not going to want to put all these habits into practice if we lose touch with the why, the vision of what we're trying to create and where we're going. So for me at Storywork, I love fueling people and companies to walk in their identity and how that translates directly into a strategy that drives growth for them and helps their businesses, nonprofits, movements scale. So through the strategy map that we've created. So for me, these things throughout the past few years have really fueled that journey. So starting with number 1, waking early. And I don't know if you're a morning person. I typically tend to err on the side of a morning person. But again, you can think about this in terms of your quietest time of day. When is that? Is that at 6 o'clock in the morning, or is that at 11 o'clock at night? So for me, it's waking early, but for you, it might be from 10 to 11 p.m. And if you feel like you are struggling with the idea of adding in an hour and that feels really impossible to you right now, start with 15-minute increments. I would just encourage you to start somewhere. It can literally be 10 to 15 minutes, but the time can just be used for quiet, for focus time, for reflection, and for brainstorming. So if you just set an intention on that extra time that you're going to either wake early or at the end of the day have to reflect, you'll notice a pattern over a period of time where things will develop and things will unfold for you in terms of bigger picture vision, in terms of next steps. All of these things help us get so much clarity over the long run. So if you're looking for a quick win or immediate result, it may not happen with these things. These habits are long term. They are laying a foundation. They're building a lifestyle that allows you to cultivate growth and to iterate on your business model or your movement or your nonprofit or even your family. So number 2 is building an accountability. And there are a lot of different mechanisms you can use to build an accountability, but let's talk about the point of accountability. So accountability really allows us to be able to recognize any roadblocks, recognize any blind spots within ourselves. It also allows us to continuously work toward the things that we know lead us to our purpose or our greater vision, and to carry them out. So it's important for relationships, it's important for families, it's important for businesses, it's important all the way across the board. So there's a couple things that we can use. There's an app actually called Stick, Stickk, and it helps you mark your habit each day it's completed. So it's like built-in accountability in your phone and can give you notifications like, hey, you haven't done this yet. And it's just that reminder. Now, if you are one of those people like me, this is what I tend to do. In the beginning, it'll work really well, and then it'll wear off, and I'll just ignore the notification. Then I encourage you to find another route. You have to find what works for you. So the second option is a good one. It's a little bit more challenging. Nominate an accountability partner to ask you if you've completed your habit. So right now I'm doing this with someone in terms of writing. I've been slacking off on writing lately, and there is a very specific topic that I believe that I am supposed to be writing on right now. And it's been really hard for me in this season to get motivated to do it and to get up earlier. So we have agreed to check in every Friday with each other to say, hey, did you write this week at all? And I'm starting with a smaller goal of just one day a week. And it might even be 15 minutes. But as long as I put something on the paper, I'm going to consider that a win. I don't want to start out with a lofty goal that I know I can't carry. And so that built in accountability really is motivating me to do it. The next are really tactical things. You can literally set up just any kind of jar and put in a pin of anything. You can put in anything for every day of the week that you do it, that you accomplish the habit. Maybe it sits on your desk to remind you. So that's something that I've seen people do, and it's really tangible and right in front of you. So if you work best with tools like that, this might be an option for you. The other thing is going back to an old school paper calendar and literally marking an X for every day that you accomplish the habit. Whatever it is, figure out a way that you want to build in accountability to the things that you really want to start practicing. Number 3, I would recommend this for everybody. Have a planner. So this is helpful for you to document your key routines by planning out the week in terms of meetings, activities, reflection time, admin work, brainstorming time, deep focus work, and intentional time with important people in your life. Of course, not everything is going to be scheduled. Some things are going to happen naturally. Some things are going to be spontaneous, and that's amazing and so good. But if you have the structure, the underlying structure, it creates space for more spontaneity, if that makes sense. That's a common practice I've seen of many gurus or high performers that I've studied. I feel like a lot of them practice this underlying structure and baseline that they've established over the years so that they have more freedom in their lives. So one planner that I use that's really great is the Passion Planner. It's super helpful and it has all the different areas, and it even includes journaling space in the back. I know another one that's really good is Michael Hyatt actually has a great planner as well, similarly, but mine has all the things. It has the calendar, it has the daily, and it incorporates personal and work, and also journaling space every week for just even brainstorm. So there's a lot of good things in that and variety. Number 4 is just I put the title as podcast and reading, but I just want to say this could be anything that fuels you and gives you new ideas and creates just space for you to learn and grow. And so I would highly recommend just either putting a podcast on or reading, or maybe it's an audiobook. Maybe you're doing the laundry. Maybe you are going for a walk or a bike ride or your car ride to and from work. Wherever you're doing this, don't discount those small moments as opportunities to be able to put something on that fuels you. And I list a few of my favorites in the PDF document, and this freebie PDF is going to be available. I'll link to it in the show notes for you, because I think this transitions our brains. When I'm struggling, when I feel like I'm in a funk and I'm lacking motivation, when I put these things on or I make the conscious decision to switch over to this mindset, it helps me transition to a growth mindset, which is really, really good for our brains. And it helps me get into the space of thinking bigger and zooming out. And every time I do that, I feel fueled to continue because I'm connecting with the vision. Number 5 is rest. And I love that rest is right here because we're talking about a lot of tactical things that may feel overwhelming, like waking early or building an accountability or having a planner or listening to podcasts and reading. But then number 5 is rest. And it's so important because when we are shifting our mindset to maintaining a state of rest, even if we are producing or creating, I think it's really a game changer. So for me, I think this is just remembering to gain a fresh perspective that I cannot strive for things to happen. I think when you get into the practice of just for me, this is just letting the spirit lead, or And I am just moving through the day in that way, in that mindset. It's a different space, it's a different headspace. And so that really shifts my mindset to be able to just walk in a place where I'm not striving. I don't feel like I'm on a hamster wheel. I just feel like I'm moving and I'm creating, and I feel more alive throughout the day. And I think that is obviously how all of us want to spend our days. It's just that we can get pulled back into the mundane or the hamster wheel, right? And so it's constantly a battle to remind ourselves that we can incorporate active and passive rest throughout our days. So these are two different things I'm going to talk about. They're two different states. So active rest is just a place where we might be doing something different. So we might be going on a walk or a run or a bike ride, short bursts of things, or we might be journaling through something, or we might be gardening, or we might be, just doing something that we love to do, but our brains are still thinking about how to solve the problem, or they're engaged. And sometimes the greatest ideas actually come when we're not sitting down at the computer doing the work, but when we are out doing something else. So this I would consider active rest, because it's not like we're taking a nap, we're doing other things, but then thoughts are coming to mind. And so we want to capture those thoughts, which are really good. And then passive rest is literally just giving yourself breaks. What do you need? And so if you feel like even throughout your days you're getting stuck, the Pomodoro method is really helpful. You can do work sprints for 25 minutes without distraction, and then go take a break, 10-minute break. And by take a break, it means like going outside or doing something completely different other than technology. So really giving yourself those times throughout the day. You can set calendar reminders to take 10 at a certain time of day, just shutting everything down, going outside, and setting up perspective reminders around your house or your office or your car or digitally. This just really helps position you in a place where you are receiving enough rest to be able to work through those short bursts where you are getting things done and accomplishing things. And then extended times during the weekend. On the weekends, I really try to put my phone away for long periods of time. And I find that to be really nice and really freeing. So let's talk about number 6. This is called white space time. And white space time is when you plan one day a month or part of a day, and you just block it out on your calendar and just take it as a white space day. This is a time where you really check in on how you're doing with everything. How am I doing with my habits or baseline routines? How am I doing with my priorities? And how am I doing with the bigger picture, where I want to go, and how close am I to that? And do my big 3 priorities, do they reflect that? Am I using, like, are my time and my vision matching up? And if not, where are the gaps, and how can I bridge those gaps? That's an amazing practice to do. If you do it just once a month, a gap analysis. This is a form of a gap analysis, looking at your time and how it's spent according to your priorities and your vision and where you want to go. And if you do that once a month, you will stay on track. You will. I mean, it's a simple thing to do, but yet it's so hard to actually shift our mindsets and not do the admin stuff or not do the stuff that we feel like we need to get done. So this white space time is specifically for that time. And even if you don't have that much time, try 30 minutes once a month. Just set a timer and go somewhere else. I recommend not with technology, just with paper. And just write down a couple things, write down those key headings and go through them once a month. It will refuel you so much for the coming month. Number 7, this is the last one, and I'm a big fan of this. And speaking of paper, I think there's a lot of value in returning to paper. I think there's a lot of value in taking the time to write things down and practice journaling. And this has been life-changing for me personally, because when I write something on paper, things get real. They come to life. They are either incredibly inspiring or it's a reality check that I need. And so I really appreciate and value the practice of journaling and writing things down. So we get the chance to really stand back and look at what we've written. And then we get to do this. And when it becomes a habit, we get better at iterating and recognizing feelings or visions and sorting through them and then applying action. So, this is what journaling can lead us to, which is really, really amazing. And so, I would just encourage everyone, if you're just not into the practice of journaling, to just have a sheet of paper by you, even if it's sticky notes, and you write a couple thoughts that are like a one liner for yourself. It doesn't have to be pages. Just keep a pile of sticky notes on your desk and write those one liners down and get into a practice of writing things and then reflecting back on those things. And when you do that, you'll see it over the long haul. So when you go to your white space time once a month and you're looking at that, and you're comparing it with the realizations that you're having, you're going to see things start to make sense. You're going to see patterns emerge. And this is where you build up your strategic mindset. So, strategy is not something that we naturally have. It's something that we build upon and we practice. And this helps us to grow and scale our organizations and our businesses. So this is my encouragement to you. Grab this free PDF so that you can go through it and just take a few minutes to take away what you want to put into practice from it and write down a couple action items for yourself around this and put these into practice and let us know how it goes. We want to hear. So make sure that you shoot us an email or shoot us a DM on social media, and please let us know how this goes for you. I'm also going to link to in the show notes to the Strategy Masterclass, which is our e-course that you can take and you can guide yourself through this process of developing effective habits and routines. It's called the Productivity Map. And if you're in a place where you feel like you're just completely all over the place and can't get it together in terms of the schedule and making things happen, or you're in a funk and you need to wake yourself out of it, this is for you. So I'm going to link to that in the show notes as well. Thanks for listening in, everybody, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.